Many people feel, and maybe you do, that we live in a time of disruption where something is ending and dying and something else is wanting to be born. This picture here is expressing this feeling of disruption by placing us on two sides of the chasm. On the one side is our current self and current reality, and on the other side is the other part of ourself that already today begins to connect with future possibilities that maybe we can bring into reality in our journey forward. The journey of the You and the journey of ULab is basically to help the current self to better connect to the emerging future possibilities waiting here. So before we embark on that journey, I would like to share two key concepts with you that underlie the ULab and the You process. The first one is the iceberg model, an idea you have probably come across many times already, and it's the simple distinction between 10% of the iceberg visible above the waterline, and yet there's another 90% that also matters, that significantly contributes to the behavior of the system. And when you go around across places and countries today and talk to people, I'm actually amazed to see how many people basically agree on that the current system is broken and that we face significant challenges in our societies today that require some profound change. And when you talk about, we probably don't agree on the solutions, but when you talk about the problems, many people agree on that there are these three main buckets, kind of the ecological divide, the social divide, and something that I call the spiritual divide. And the ecological divide probably is best summarized by the number 1.5. We, as a global economy today, use resources 1.5 times the regeneration capacity of planet Earth. So that's kind of the first divide, very familiar to us. The second divide, the social divide, also not unfamiliar. So it is manifesting in increasing levels of inequity, of social tensions, of fragmentation. According to a recent Oxfam study, 62 billionaires today own more than the bottom half of mankind. So on the one hand, you have like 62 people, as many as you can fit into a single bus. On the other hand, 3.7 billion. So more than 10 times the population, or 11 times the population of the United States. And that's kind of the level of inequity we have. And the problem is it's getting worse, it's not getting better. While the ecological divide is basically arising from a disconnect between self and nature, and the social divide is basically arising from a disconnect between self and other. The spiritual divide is basically arising from a disconnect between self and self, between who I am today and who I could be tomorrow. And if these two selves are not well connected, it results in a feeling of loss of energy, symptoms of burnout, symptoms of depression, or even, in some cases, risk for suicide. In 2010, more people killed themselves than were killed by war, murder, and natural disasters combined. So think about that. In spite of all the violence going on across the planet, more people kill themselves than are being killed by others. So that's the level of gravity of the problem we have on this side. So if we look at this, we can say, we can summarize the current situation with a sentence that today is applicable to many bigger systems we are working in, which is, we collectively create results that no one wants. We collectively create results that no one wants, but the question is, why? No one, not you, not I, is getting up in the morning and looking into the mirror and saying, okay, I will put in another day of destroying more of nature, inflicting harm and violence on other people, and also increasing my own degree of unhappiness. No one is doing that yet. Collectively, that's exactly what we want, what we are doing today. And that's kind of the investigation that the iceberg model is inviting into. What are the structural factors that actually make us doing these things that are so misaligned with our real intentions? Before we go there, I would like to invite you to watch an evocative video clip, and after that to share a little bit of your own observation of the key changes that you see going on in your environment right now.